In today's video, I am going to talk to you about one of the most important steps when forming a medical corporation, and that is a name requirement. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm the managing attorney here at Molai Law, where we help entrepreneurs just like you start your businesses without having to deal with the complicated legal forms. I've done a few services backed by over 2,800 plus 5-star Google reviews, and we can help you start your business too. The purpose of these videos are to provide you with as much guidance and clarity in the beginning stages of starting a practice. So if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, as well as the bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos. Before you start a business, make sure you speak with a professional. With that side note out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about one of the most important aspects of forming a medical corporation, and that is a naming requirement. If you don't already know, in forming a medical corporation, you're required to submit what's called the Articles of Incorporation. Now, do keep in mind that you cannot submit the general type of corporation document. California specifically has a form called ARTS-PC, which is a required form when forming a professional medical corporation. One of the requirements that you must have prior to submitting the Articles of Incorporation is going to be the company name. Now, I wish I could tell you that you can call your practice whatever you would like. However, there are strict requirements. These requirements come from a variety of authorities in California. First, the name must comply with California Corporations Code. Second, it must also be compliant with the Business and Professions Code. Third, it must also be compliant with the California Code of Regulations. And then finally, it must comply with the state regulatory board. What I mean by this is each separate profession has a governing board. In this case, it would need to be compliant with the medical board. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the most common naming mistakes that we run into when assisting MDs with forming a professional corporation. What we see most often is an MD will form a general corporation. And it's important to note that if the MD is administering medical services, they're not able to administer these services under a general corporation. California requires the MD to form a medical corporation, and this must be compliant with the Moscone-Knox doctrine. Comparing a general corporation with a medical corporation, a general corporation is a lot more lenient when it comes to the name requirement, so long as the name does not reflect a similar name or so long as it does not contain certain words. The medical corporation, on the other hand, is very specific as to what's compliant. What I mean by this is when forming a medical corporation and choosing a name, there must be a surname of one of the shareholders of the corporation. While there are strict requirements when choosing and deciding on a medical corporation name, there is an option that you can do in order to market and display your name in the manner you see fit. And that is what we call a DBA, doing business as. However, because this is a medical corporation, you won't be applying for your general DBA. What I mean by your general DBA is a lot of corporations, a lot of LLCs apply for a DBA, a general DBA from the state or county where they plan to operate. However, in applying for a DBA for a medical corporation, the process is quite different. In order to compliantly use a DBA, you must submit the DBA to the medical licensing board and not just the state or general county. What will happen is a medical board will review your name submission for the DBA and will either let you know whether or not it has been approved. It's quite interesting that the name is quite strict, but the DBA is one of the best options in order to market your business in the best way you see fit. Now, keep in mind when using a DBA and applying for a DBA for a medical corporation, you're going to want to still make sure that the name is unique and it is not reflective of an already existing business name. The last thing you want to do is have to deal with any sort of litigation as a result of choosing a name that's too similar to another business or is not unique. If it's not unique, it's likely to get rejected by the medical board. Starting a medical practice can be extremely exciting. However, making mistakes Not very exciting. So make sure you speak with a professional prior to doing anything. If you happen to have any questions about anything that I talked about in today's video, make sure you click the link in the description box below to book your free call with a professional who can help you better understand the naming requirements of a medical corporation. If you happen to enjoy this video, please make sure you hit the like, subscribe, as well as bell notification so you don't miss out on any future videos. It's time to invest in yourself. It's time to rise. If you would like to continue learning more about LLCs, businesses, online businesses, go ahead and watch one of these videos.